Yokoso minna, welcome to the channel. Have you ever wondered where all those unique character names come from in Dragon Ball? Well, in this video series we're gonna do a deep dive and try to uncover the meaning and origin of all the character names that appear in the Dragon Ball manga. Are you ready? Let's start with part 1. Okay, and we're getting started with Tankoubon Volume 1. For this video series I'll be using the Kalaban, which is the colored version. It's exactly the same as the original manga, except the panels have been colored. But story-wise, everything is exactly the same. So we're starting off with, of course, the main hero, Son Goku. When we look at his name, Son Goku is written with 3 kanji, Son Goku, and if you take each character separately, the meaning doesn't make a lot of sense. The first character, Son, can also be pronounced Mago, which means grandchild. The next character is enlightened or enlightenment, and the final character means air or emptiness. Doesn't make a lot of sense. That's because his name is actually taken from an old Chinese folk tale, and this Son Goku is actually inspired by Sun Wukong, which is one of the main characters of the story Saiyuki. Now, Saiyuki is, as I said, an ancient Chinese tale which got translated into Japanese, and here you see his original depiction. Looks very monkey-like, much more than the Son Goku from Dragon Ball. And you can see he can walk on clouds. He has a lot of abilities, special abilities, among which the ability to walk on clouds, a long staff which he can extend. These things are also referenced in the Dragon Ball manga. So our Son Goku from the Dragon Ball manga is actually heavily inspired from the one from the story of Saiyuki, called Sun Wukong in Chinese. And in Chinese, these were the same original characters that were used for his name. So we don't need to look any further than that. It's basically just exactly taking the name as it was, but with the Japanese pronunciation. Next up in the story, he meets Bulma, his first companion along his trip in search for the Dragon Balls. Bulma, her name is written in katakana, meaning it's usually a loan word or a foreign word that was introduced into Japanese. Bulma actually means bloomers. Now, bloomers were underwear, I believe, from the 17th century. They got introduced into Japan, and eventually they evolved into sportswear, which were quite similar to the kind of tight pants that female volleyball players wear. Now, in Japanese culture, and you can see it on the screen here, Bulma, you can see the shape, is usually these blue kinds of sports shorts, which are quite tight-fitting and are often used for athleticism or for physical education in high schools. Now you see the same characters here on the screen, the blue ones, Bulma, referring to those shorts. You can see those shorts often in various manga, anime, Japanese TV shows, because it's quite often that they use those in elementary schools and junior high schools. Along the way, they meet a sea turtle. In the manga, he's referred to as Umigame. Now, Kame means turtle. We see, because it's connected to Umi, it turns into a stronger voiced phonetic Game. So Kame means turtle, and Umi means sea. So Umigame means sea turtle, which is a normal word you can encounter in Japanese. The only thing of note is that Umi is written in kanji, right? So in a character that carries meaning, and Game is written in katakana for some reason, although there is a kanji that exists for the word Kame, which you will encounter later. So they take him back to his original owner, which is referred to by two names. The first one is Kame Sennin, and here we see that character. First character in his name, Kame, means turtle, and Sennin is a hermit, right? So that matches pretty well with the appearance of the character here, Kame Sennin, the turtle hermit. However, he also is referred to by a second name, namely Mutten Loshi. Now, this is a bit of a peculiar one, because the first character, Mu, can also be pronounced Bu, is the same Bu as in Budo, martial arts, right? So that matches. The second character, Ten, refers to the heavens. Loshi is usually like an old sage, so somebody who has a lot of experience, who has come to a certain age that you can look to as a person who can be like an instructor to you, who has gathered wisdom and can part with that wisdom to you. So it makes sense, but that 10 in the middle there, the heavenly part, that's a bit weird. So I did some digging, and some Japanese sites seem to think, since the original Dragon Ball manga was heavily inspired by the Chinese folklore tale of Saiyuki, that we need to look at the Chinese signification of these kanji. And if we do that, then we learn that Mutten would translate into Japanese as Bujutsu, so martial techniques, martial arts, no Kami, so the god of martial arts. The second part of his name, Roshi, in Chinese comes from Furo Fushi, and I'm using the Japanese pronunciation here of these characters, which means immortal. So the immortal god of martial arts would make a bit more sense. And I do believe, since he's quite a bit of age, it matches well with him. So I give some credence to the theory that's been floating around amongst some Japanese fans that Mutten Loshi was actually taken from the Chinese signification of the characters. Now, Toriyama-sensei never actually confirmed this. It's just a theory that's been floating around, but I thought it worthwhile to mention. Next up, we see that Son Goku calls his Kintoun, which is his flying yellow cloud. This is also referenced in the Saiyuki original story, where Sun Wukong is able to walk onto the clouds. The name doesn't really have any noticeable significance. Kin is originally, the original meaning is muscle or sinew. To means the Big Dipper, so the star constellation, and the last character Un comes from a cloud, means a cloud, right? So in a sense you could say yes, the last character means cloud, but these kanji are also referenced in the Saiyuki story. So again here Toriyama-sensei just took the name as it was referenced in the Saiyuki story. We don't need to look further into it than that. One of their first foes they encounter is Ulong. Now Ulong, as you can see, a little bit funny because it's a pig wearing a Chinese communist costume. Now, I don't think Toriyama-sensei wanted to make any kind of specific social commentary with this, because in the original story of Saiyuki, there is also a man with a pig-like face that is among the main cast. So it's just in my opinion, just a copy of that character. And the Chinese costume, I think, is a little bit of a reference towards the fact that the original Sayuki story was a Chinese folklore tale, and also to his name, because Ulong actually means a kind of Chinese tea, which is quite popular in Japan, which you can find in supermarkets quite easily or in convenience stores. Here on the screen you see a couple of examples going from large to small bottles and sold in cans as well. You can see the same characters, a little bit more stylish here, Ulong, followed by the character cha. The last character is cha, meaning tea. So it's Oolong tea. Later on in the story, we encounter Yamcha, and we're continuing now with a series of character names that are based on Chinese drinks and foods. Yamcha also is, as you can see, is also written with katakana, means it's a foreign word that was introduced into Japanese, and in this case it's a kind of dumplings. Now these are dumplings that are usually steamed in bamboo pots. There's a wide variety of them, and one of the places that is most famous for them is actually Hong Kong, where you can go to specialty restaurants, and the waiters, usually middle-aged ladies, will drive around carts with all kinds of various varieties of Yamcha. As you can see on the pictures here, and yeah, you can just order them per piece or per bamboo pot. Quite tasty, I must say. I've tried it in Hong Kong. It was very tasty, and these dumplings, yeah, are quite typical for Chinese food as well. So we continue here with Chinese food inspired names. His companion then, pu'ale, again, with the Chinese drinks here, because pu'ale is, again, a form of Chinese tea. Of note here, in my opinion, is that I thought it noteworthy, and I don't think this is a coincidence, both pu'ale and oolong refer to a Chinese tea variety, and both of them have the same skill set, namely they're able to body shape or shift shape. So I thought Toriyama-sensei probably did that on purpose. Here you can see pu'ale-cha, the variety here that is referred to by that character. Usually you can buy these with little tea bags in Japanese supermarkets. Okay, so at the beginning of the video I referenced the fact that the original Son Goku character Sun Wukong from the Sayuki story carried a staff which could be extended. So this was also used in the Dragon Ball manga with the exact same name, Nyoibou, 3 characters. Last one means staff or stick, so that makes sense. The other ones don't make a lot of sense, again because Toriyama-sensei reused the same name that was used in the original Sayuki story. A on, they encounter Chichi. Now, Chichi is also written here with katakana, so you would think it's a foreign name or a foreign word introduced into Japanese. However, I don't know any word it could reference to coming from loan words. However, in Japanese, chichi can also be used to refer to breasts of the female variety, I would say. I'm not going to show an illustration of that here. I don't want to get banned. But I don't think this has ever been confirmed by Toriyama, but I do believe, since, especially in the beginning, Dragon Ball tended to be a little bit on the skebe side, right? They had quite a few sexy jokes in there. I do believe chichi refers to breast. Then her father, Gyuumaou, is the last character we encounter in the first volume. Again, his name and his appearance is quite literally taken from the Sayuki story. Here the characters do make some sense. Gyu means cow or ox, Ma means devil, and O means king. So the ox demon king, and that actually refers to quite well to his appearance in the manga, but also taken directly from the Sayuki story. Okay, so with that we have covered the very first volume. Please do join me again as we continue our exploration of the Dragon Ball names with volume number 2. See you guys again. Take care. Jana. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tap the notification bell and sound off in the comments. And hey, while you're here, why not check out another video?